Greetings, everyone. Well, it's Blu-ray update time again. Yes, I've got even more than what I showed in the last few updates there. I was going to split this up into a couple, but I thought, you know what, let's just do all the rest in one big fell swoop here. So let's get right to it. So this is Sci-Fi and stuff. Well, sci-fi superheroes and stuff. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, let's start with the and stuff, just because I know there's a lot of sci-fi fans out there, so we're going to save that for the last half and then kind of lead up to it. All right, so starting off here, a couple, a reacquisition. I thought, given the recent passing of this particular superstar, it was time I got this back in the collection and maybe actually watch it this time. Yeah, I had it for such a short period of time last time and never got around to watching it. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Picked up Prince, Purple Rain. Yes, still in the bargain bins. This cost like $5, I think. So, yeah, good stuff. Gotta love some classic, classic action with his purpleness. Just trying to get the glare there. Okay. Next up, I actually saw this one in the theaters, and I always thought this was just a terrific. I always say how I like teen angst stories. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about just movies about teenagers being moody and self-important and stuff like that. No. What I mean by that is movies that really and TV shows and such that really exemplify the hell of high school and the emotional difficulty of growing up and stuff like that, and this was one that I thought really did it very, very well. And boy, when I saw this, I just thought, the wonderful young actress who stars in this is really gonna go far. Like her star is on the rise. She's awesome. She's gonna go so far. And I'm of course talking about Mean Girls, starring Lindsay Lohan. Yes, I think this is the last really awesome thing she did before her rapid downward spiral, sadly. It's really, honestly, a shame how things went for her. She just kind of got sucked into the whole partying life and everything, and Hollywood just kind of chewed her up and spat her out. But, on the plus side, she does seem to be well on the road to recovery lately, so good for you, Lindsay. Good job. Good to see you getting your life back on track there. Apparently Oprah is something of a mentor to her in that respect. But anyway, Mean Girls, awesome movie. So funny, and really nails, in a very tongue-in-cheek way, obviously, just the cliques and sort of social hierarchy of high school and all the trials and tribulations that go along with that. Great movie. Really, really love that one a lot. Next up, got another one for the Studio Ghibli collection, or Ghibli, or however you want to pronounce it. This is, but oddly, one not released by Disney. We have The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Yeah, very nice. I snagged this one because it actually had the slipcover. I couldn't believe it. You don't see the slipcover very often. And if we crack this open here, it's actually quite a deluxe edition. Lots of discs in there, and lots of over 2 hours of bonus features. So there you go, pretty cool. I've not watched this one yet, but Rosie and I have been slowly working our way through the Studio Ghibli collection, and both really, really enjoying them a lot. There's wonderful, wonderful films. I would love to have the entire library of them. Next up, as you know, I'm a huge fan of this particular Japanese director. He's most well known, I think, for his just fantastic, spectacular, and quite frankly, beautiful samurai films. Well, this one's a much more, kind of personal story, more small scale than his samurai epics. We have Ikiru, which is basically about an old man in his twilight years, and apparently just a really wonderful drama, and one of those rip your heart out and stomp all over it types of movies. So really looking forward to checking this one out. This is, of course, a Criterion edition. I almost grabbed this on DVD a little while ago when I was buying all the samurai films, and then the Blu-ray was announced, so I just kind of held off for that. So as always, very nice edition from Criterion. Got a booklet with it there, an essay in it, and all kinds of cool stuff there. So very, very nice indeed. There's a few more, not necessarily Akira Kurosawa, but just general samurai films in the Criterion collection that I really want to pick up. They just announced that they're actually re-releasing the Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman collection, so I don't want to miss out on it this time, so you might see that in an upcoming update. Next up, this one's kind of random, a DVD that was actually sitting on one of the tables in the cafeteria at work, and with a note next to it saying, "Free to a good home." And I thought, well, what better home could mine be? I mean, I will be very good to it. A little movie called, I'm guessing an independent, no-budget action movie called Death Point. So there you go. No idea. It was free on the table, so I grabbed it. Just looking at the pictures on the back, it looks like a no-budget shot-on-video type of thing. Lots of extras on there. Even got commentary with the director and the writer and behind-the-scenes stuff. So, So, looking forward to checking this out. I do like some indie film action. Alrighty, so next up, getting into the superhero stuff here, just a couple of additions. First up is actually a reacquisition. I sold this. I used to have this, and I actually sold it in the Great Purge of 2010, I guess it was, and stupidly didn't keep the slipcover, and I have not seen it with the slipcover for ages, and then was in HMV. His master's voice, as everybody was telling me in the comments. I honestly had no recollection of that. Apparently based on the old, the painting of the dog looking into the gramophone, because it was a record of his master's voice. So he was like looking in and he was puzzled. You may also know that as the logo for RCA Victrola for a very, very long time. They used that image as well. So there you go. So HMV, his master's voice, is apparently what it stands for. So anyway, the one that I picked up, I saw it on the shelf in shrink wrap with the original slipcover, and I was like, oh my god, no brainer. This is my one opportunity to get it back in the collection properly. Got Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Yeah, I do have the second, the follow-up to this as well, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. And I double billed them back when I originally got them, and really enjoyed both of them quite a lot. And then next up, no slipcover for this one, sadly, but I don't see this on the shelves very often, so I decided to grab it. One of the older DC Universe movies. Again, we have Justice League, Crisis on Two Earths. So there you go. So I'm getting pretty close to filling in all the gaps in my DC Universe animated movie collection. There's only a handful left that I need, and so we'll see how that goes. Always keeping an eye out for them with the slipcovers, of course. Next up, this is another reacquisition. Actually, I think I mentioned this in an upcoming video that you won't see until October. Yes, I've been filming stuff for Halloween well in advance because I've got big plans for Halloween, so I basically need to do them in advance so they won't get done. So there's one where I do talk about this movie, a little teaser for you there, and I think in that video I talk about how I need to get the Blu-ray again. Well, I got it, so don't worry about me in the past, in the future, saying that I need this, because I got it. In fact, I'm probably going to put a little clip in of me holding it up and going, just to show that I did, in fact, get it. I'm, of course, talking about one of my all-time favorite science fiction horror films, Event Horizon. Yes. I was stunned when I was going through my collection and saw that I did not have this. I actually had this twice over before, and I thought I had only sold one of them, but I think I basically accidentally sold both of them. Like, I did not intend to get rid of this at all. And, yeah, so anyway, got it back in the collection. Very happy to have it again. Next up, this is an upgrade. Actually, this is from Shout Factory. I was trying to see if it was Shout Factory or Scream Factory, but yeah, it's Shout Factory. This is an upgrade. I've had the DVD for years. I think I did a video about it a long, long time ago, or at least it was in an update, I think. I love this movie. It's so much fun. I was actually really late to the party on this one. I remember when it came out, people were talking about it quite a bit and really liked it. But I didn't end up seeing it until like probably 15 years later when I picked it up on DVD. Well, Shout Factory put out a beautifully remastered Blu-ray of it, loaded with extras. We have Hackers, the 90s classic all about hacking. Some great interviews and behind-the-scenes stuff on here. Really, really cool. You got interviews with Fisher Stevens and, what is it, Penn Jillette, of course, the costume designer Roger Burton, visual effects artist Peter Chiang, and hacking consultants Nicholas Jarecki and Emmanuel Goldstein. The Emmanuel Goldstein, was it Emmanuel Goldstein or... Well, anyway, one of them was actually one of the editors for 2600 magazine, which is the Hackers Quarterly, which has been going forever. And, yeah, great stuff. So I didn't realize that they'd actually done so much background research on the, the hacker subculture and whatnot in this. But they actually put a lot of thought into this, despite the fact it's very 90s now. I mean, looking back, it definitely shows the era that it's from. But just such a fun movie. It's just such a great bunch of characters and just a fun, silly story. I just love the interplay between all those eclectic characters. Awesome soundtrack, too. Just some great 90s techno and trance type stuff for the soundtrack. Just beautiful, beautiful music in this. All right, next up, this is something that I was intending to get because it's the 50th anniversary of this particular franchise this year. I'm just cleaning off some of the fingerprints on the cover. There we go. That looks a little better. Anyway, now there's a couple of forums to get this particular collection, and there was a complete series set put out recently, and I was like this close to getting it because it goes for about $70-$80, which is actually a pretty good price for this particular collection. So I actually went to HMV to see if they had it, so that I could buy it there, because I saw it at Best Buy going for like $75. So I wanted to go to HMV to see if they had it, so that and possibly for a better price, and also so I could get the points, because I'm in their points club. So they didn't have it, but they did have the original release. I'm, of course, talking about... Now, this is a reacquisition / completing the set at last, because I used to have the first 2 seasons. I did videos about them a while back. I did an in-depth review of the first one. I'm, of course, talking about Star Trek, the original series. So, yeah. So, anyway, they had the 3 seasons with the slipcovers, no less. So check this out. So we got Season 1, which I've talked about before. It's a wonderful set. I'm going to put these here. Season 2, also with the slipcover. One of the... just 1 second here. Yeah, the hub on the bottom is actually damaged. I don't know how well you can see that. But the piece that came off is in there, so I'm actually just going to Gorilla Glue that, and I think I can actually fix it. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so we got Season 2. Now, this is the one that also first suggested to me that maybe we could get Star Trek the Animated Series on Blu-ray, because the very first episode, More Tribbles, More Troubles, is on here in high definition. And it took a few years, but at long last, we're getting Star Trek the Animated Series on Blu-ray. First appearing in a set of all the original crew adventures. Really overpriced set, by the way, that has all 3 seasons of Star Trek, the original series, all 6 of the Star Trek movies, including the remastered director's cut of the second one, and the debut of Star Trek, the animated series. So it's every single original crew adventure minus their appearances in Star Trek Generations, and of course the Star Trek The Next Generation episodes, where some of them came back, like got McCoy in the first one, got Spock in the two-parter, and you got Scotty in that one episode. Those aren't included, but it's all of the original crew adventures together in one massive box set. That's stupidly expensive. It's like $250 or something like that. You could buy all the individual releases of all of those things for less. So anyway, seasons 1 and 2. And then finally, season 3. This was really... I was stunned to find this with the slipcover, because you just never see this on the shelf with the slipcover anymore. Like, I've seen it online, like complete series sets. The first 2 seem to be really common, like the slipcovers, but the third one isn't, and I don't know why. Just lower print run, I guess. So anyway, at long last, I am the proud owner of the complete... Well, there we are. Stop it. The complete original series of Star Trek. Now, as I've said before, this really is as definitive a collection as it gets, because you've got all of the... you've got so many viewing options. Like, I mean, you can watch it... it's all remastered in high definition from the original film prints. You can watch it in its original form with the original effects and the original mono audio, or you can watch it with the enhanced, like the redone CG effects and the original audio, or the enhanced CG effects and the 7.1 remixed audio, or you can mix and match on the fly as you watch, because using the angle button on your remote, you can flip back and forth as you're watching between original and redone effects. How frickin' cool is that? Yeah. They really, really did this set right. Now, the complete series set that came out is the exact same discs from this. It doesn't make any mention of it having both the remastered and original effects. It just mentions the remastered effects on the packaging, but it's just a repackage. It is the exact same discs that you get in this set. So the reason I went with this was a little bit more expensive. I mentioned the complete series set was going for $75. These were going for $35 a season. So it was like, what was it, 90 or 70? It was like $105, I guess, for the whole collection. But to put that in perspective, when I originally bought these first 2 ones, they were like 80 or $90 each. So basically, I got all 3 seasons for a little less than what I originally paid for, or a little more than what I originally paid for just one of them when they originally came out. So I thought, you know what, $35 for each season, that's actually a really good price, especially considering the value that you get out of the content. It's just some great, great content on there. So I do love me some Star Trek, as you can see from my shirt. Yeah, see, a lot of people, you get into this whole Star Trek versus Star Wars thing. People sometimes ask me, which do you like better, Star Trek or Star Wars? You can only pick one. And I just say both. Why do you only have to pick one? Who says you can only pick one? I like Star Wars when I want sort of grand sweeping space opera based on a lot of classic mythological concepts and just sort of tongue-in-cheek fun and pseudoscience. And I like Star Trek when I'm in the mood for something a little bit more serious. It's a little more character-driven and social issues-driven. You know, they're both. This is science fantasy. This is science fiction. You know, there's a difference. There is some kind of... I mean, a lot of Star Trek is based in scientific theory of the time. So, I mean, you go back and watch the original series, a lot of the scientific theory was quite sound at the time, in the 60s, when it was done, 50 years ago. Obviously, a lot of things have changed in the 50 years since, so some of those ideas are outdated. Does that make the show any less enjoyable? Absolutely not. It's a great, great show, and I just love it. I mean, this is one of those types of shows that I can just rewatch over and over. Like, I'll sit down and I'll watch an entire disc of this, which is like 4 or 5 episodes, because I just love it so much. I mean, I love the characters. I love the the retro design. and the stories are just so damn creative and original. Um, it's just fantastic. I love it. And before anyone asks, yes, I am planning to pick up the Next Generation. Now, as far as the Next Generation Blu-rays go, that one I think I will just go for the complete series set. Solely because the individual season sets are still stupid expensive here, at least $50 a piece, I think. So let's see, 7 seasons times $50. That's like $350 at least, if not more. Because I'm sure some of them still go for more here. Or the complete series set, which just came out, takes up a little bit less. Oh, well, I guess it takes up very slightly less shelf space. It's a pretty bulky set. But it's going currently for around $150, if not less. Sometimes it goes on sale too, so it's like I think the lowest I saw it for recently was $109. So I don't know why I didn't jump on it then. I guess I just didn't have the money at the time. But yeah. So that's the plan anyway. Is this being the 50th anniversary year, I want to get all the good Star Trek stuff. The stuff that's been done properly on Blu-ray. So that means original series, obviously, and Next Generation, which also looks really good. I've seen some of the individual releases they did of the movie versions of the two-parters. I've got a few of those, as you know. And so anyway, that is it for the update. Some pretty cool stuff. Definitely a lot of hours of entertainment there. Some long overdue reacquisitions that I'm really glad to have back in the collection. And finally got Star Trek completed. I mean, that was a long time coming. I held off for a long time because I needed to reacquire the first 2 seasons and just could not find the third one with the slipcover. Then the complete series set came out. I thought maybe I'll get that. Didn't like the packaging as much. Saw these for a good price and got them. And I just told you the same story again, in case you came in late. Alrighty. Quick thank you to my Patreon sponsors. Hey! Thanks, Patreon sponsors. You guys and gals are awesome. Special big thanks to Kyle Pellegrini and Get Your Gorgeous On. Still my highest level sponsors. You folks are just amazing. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. I really, really appreciate it. You're helping to make a lot of this stuff possible. And that's awesome. So thanks for watching. And until next time, sayonara. Yeah.